like I said just before closing out with just the whole speeders thing. I mean, like I said, we have this international East meets West sort of thing. I think we both have influences from comics. We both have influences from anime, and we both, we blend these things. And then, some people, like I said, they just make the comics. They can just do, they do competent work, but it doesn't necessarily. It's the difference between, getting going to P.F. Chang's Chinese food versus like
an actual Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. And it's like there's just it's just sometimes and people love P.F. Chang's a lot.
P.F. Chang's is Marvel. Like a Marvel movie is the P.F. Chang's of movies. On the topic of track, formerly known as Trans, short for Trans Metropolitan, because he's a cool dude on a skateboard. What say you? Because we came up with the character and all that almost 20 years ago, and just in order to be thoughtful, we figured it's just best to change the name.
No, I was just gonna say relative to the name. I mean, I think sometimes the loudest people are least likely to support what it is that you're doing with money.
The empty barrels make the most noise.
This phenomenon is because you just have the silent people to just just buy things quietly, support what they actually. I mean, I think we gotta ask ourselves, even. Just like looking at things like Kickstarter, is there a man out here playing a violin? What on earth? He's asking for money because he has 2 kids? What? No, he's got like a violin.
Why doesn't he teach his kids to play violin and it could be a whole orchestra or something? Might make more money, I'm just saying.
What is this, Philly? That is the other strange thing too about Philly. Like, Philly's crazy, I don't want to say crazy people. People that are mentally ill in Philly they're all in the city of Philly. And what I mean by this, cities normally have asylums for, people that have some mental issue that they're dealing with. Like Baltimore. In Baltimore, we have one called Shepherd Pratt. And, Chris from Chris Crazy House, he worked at one. Or I think his parent worked in one, which is why he had Chris Crazy House.
Oh, that's the origin. I've known Chris so much longer than you, and you know this. Wow, I'm a terrible friend.
What?
I knew that already.
He mentioned it one time on the podcast.
He did? I'm a terrible friend. I'm really a terrible friend. Wow.
No.
But I knew I was a terrible friend.
I think the thing about Philly, I don't know what it is. Theirs, however, just seems to run the street. Like a lot of people don't necessarily think about this as a essential service or anything like that. But if you're a city in Philly, you'll walk down the street and you'll see somebody yelling at nobody. Nobody's there. And at first you're like, who is he yelling at? And then you realize he's not yelling at anybody but somebody that doesn't exist.
Well, no. To you. Outside of the termination radius of this solar system, that person might very well be there. Don't judge.
They might. He might be seeing dead people. But that being said, he actually sounds good. Do you hear this?
What is it? Oh, is this a Violin Guy? Wait.
Yeah.
Are you giving him some money? He's giving us content. I don't want him to sue me. It's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah, Violin Guy is pretty good.
Let me play you the world's saddest song.
All right, Violin Guy. I think Nick should give you a 50.
No quarters at him.
You are awful. This is. Did you ask for a card? You gonna have him play your bar mitzvah or something?
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's a shame. This guy is he's on the street. And it's a violin. Violins are not easy.
That's expensive.
Yeah, that's.
Wait. In the Target parking lot.
Target's high class. He would not go into Walmart.
Yeah.
He would not be at Walmart.
In Walmart, he'd have a ukulele.
Yeah.
He changed this up. There's a ukulele in his bag.
Walmart would be like an upside down 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
Banging on it.
It sounds like he must have worked at the BSO or something like that.
Wow, that's actually pretty tragic. Like, because there's a lot of skill and a lot of money that probably went into cultivating that talent. And this dude
Right.
is outside a damn Target. I mean, I wonder if it's like COVID, if it's COVID related, like,
It's probably COVID
messed up his
because
job.
our stuff has been shut down.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
What about Rails?
Oh, Nicole.
I'll get
Also,
a few bucks. Hopefully, more people will do.
so not to jump. Well, unfortunately, Violin Guy, we're gonna have to shift back to this because Nicole just suggested Rails, and railing is also a term for a sexual term. So Rails might not be a good name for him either. But thank you.
It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. How many transit terms seem like they've been co-opted
by sex? Yeah. Well, or something or something sexually related like rails. Yeah, rails. Railing. I guess it's because of the whole forward motion thing that's involved in transit terms, or it's like transference, or transmit. Moving forward. So it's like locomotion. You know what else is involved in locomotion? Sex. So yeah, that might be a part of it. Trams. Well, no, he suggested trams, and I was like, yeah, it might. Metro, like metro, subway.
Did you have tracks?
Dude, that's what we changed it. Track.
Yeah.
That's what Nick. That's what Nate changed it to track. And I'm like, it's fine. I appreciate he put the effort in, because I was just so. I was disappointed in changing the name, but like I said, make it clear, because the book is not.
No.
The book is pretty basic and to the point, so it's like just make it as Marvel movie as possible.
I will say that could be done as. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I was about to say the one thing that could be done is maybe some sort of leet speak spelling of the name, because it's really the name on paper.
That's true. Thank you. See, this is what brainstorming is about, guys. Leet speak. I'm taking that note right now. Yeah.
Oh, like if like the A was like an ampersand or something.
Yes. I have to see how Nate takes to it. I think it's a brilliant idea, but I think it plays into the funk of
add to the cyberpunk edge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you like the name, because no one's saying the word.
That's true.
So if you're just kind of, if you give it a lead speak sort of edge to it, it can somebody can kind of decipher if need be, but it doesn't associate with anything sexually.
Yeah, well, no, in terms of so let me, I guess, be as clear. I don't think trans, or the term trans, is a sexual term. It's a gender term. But what I'm saying sexual in terms of names like Rails and whatever else and whatnot. In terms of the trans part, it's just that his name has nothing to do with his his identity. It's more, actually, it has to do with his identity, but more in terms of skating. He traverses and travs. Oof. I think I suggested. What's up? Lions is actually an interesting name. It's just, I think it would, just what the character looks like physically. It might. I feel like it would. At this point, I would have changed the whole design. If you get what I'm saying. Circuits is funny, but this is an important factor too. Like I said, 20 years ago, like when we did this thing, or it's not fully 20 years, but it's almost 20 years. When we really started this project, we were right out of school, and I think this isn't. Well, I am tooting our own horn, but when Nathan and I left school, like I said, we had various opportunities. There's certain things I could have done, but I ended up choosing to do this, and. Sometimes people have that whole post-college depression, whatnot, because they don't really have a direction, or even if they have a direction, it's just like, oh, college is done and whatnot. And what's funny is this really gave, I'm not going to speak for Nate on this, for myself, this gave me focus, and I was able to hone a skill that I would not have otherwise honed, not in the way I did. Like in 6 months, I became a master of certain things. I'm not saying master of art, but there's certain things I was deficient in that I know I mastered within the small realm within which I worked, and I was able to move on and become even better at other things as a result. So I was still learning after school, and I was still focused, and it like this project Speeders was a very great tool in just keeping and I think I can speak for Nathan, is keeping Nathan and I focused and on a productive path outside of school and not succumbing to post educational depression. So it's something I always suggest to some people when they're in the funk after school and whatnot. It's like the best thing you can do is to do something. What it may not be necessarily a job, but use the thing. Why did you go to school in the first place? And that's the problem. Sometimes people don't go to school for the things that they're actually interested in. Most times they don't.
Right.
But if you did, I can say this is one good piece of advice. Do the thing that you went to school for. It might. Whatever it is, if you can find a way to do it, even if it's on a tiny, small, insignificant scale, that's pointless. It's a giant, important scale to you. Just do it. Do something, some aspect. Find a friend, work with them, collaborate. Like, it's easy to fall into that trap. Like, but just do something, anything.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. I know this is a longer conversation, but it's at least the start of one.
No, it's real. I remember when I was about to graduate out of getting my video game degree and realized I wasn't as fond of the industry as when I started.
Yeah.
Because I just realized, like, working in video games, it'll ask you to work in such a way that it's like, are you willing to sacrifice being
a human?
Maybe human, having a family, because like when it's crunch, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care if you have to work 20 hours a day or if you never see your family. And comics, working with you, and fortunately our crazy friend Mike found you and we were able to do something.
Yeah.
And we continue to do something. So, nothing else. Sometimes it's good to have friends and be able to get together and just do something that you're passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was able to parlay that degree of mine. That I was like, I just spent 2 years of my life getting this secondary degree that I'm not about to use because, the industry is not, and I wasn't expecting to be sunshine and rainbows, but I was just like, how do you work and have a family doing this? And I have some family that's actually working in the game industry right now. And I don't think they're ever going to have kids. I'm not sure if they're ever getting married at that rate.
Yeah, no, it's rough. Like it probably maybe it'd be a little easier if both of you are like if you are in the industry, if you and your spouse or whoever it is, your partner.